これは指揮官美士や所属戦艦クレマンソー共に戦えて強越至極よ。
Hello, hope everyone's doing well, and welcome back to Warship Wednesday. Today's subject is Clemenceau. She is the third ship of the Richelieu Class. She was named after Georges Benjamin Clemenceau, a French prime minister and statesman overall, who was a key figure in crafting the Treaty of Versailles. He wasn't as gung ho with the super harsh restrictions on Germany after the war, but he was definitely one to make them pay for the almost 1.5 million French lives lost during the course of the war. So, as for her history, she was laid down in January 17th, 1939, in the same dock in Brest that her sister ship Richelieu had just been launched from hours earlier. So I just sent Richelieu out and immediately started laying down Clemenceau. Clemenceau's construction was later expedited due to the growing tensions with Germany. They wanted to be able to handle the Bismarck class and any other classes of ships that Germans may have and bring against them. However, after the war began, the progress basically stalled to a halt because they had just drafted all their men to go fight in the war, so no one was actually building a ship. So more progress was made on and off, but by June, only 10% of her hull had been constructed, and then they just stopped progress altogether as the Germans just started steamrolling over France. As the Germans approached Brest, the workers flooded her dry dock so that it would hinder the Germans from actually repurposing her, because they end up having plans to do so. She was labeled Schlachtschliff R, or Battleship R, but due to manpower and material shortages, because they had issues with that too, the project wasn't considered a worthwhile endeavor, and so they just left her be. Later on, what was left of her that was constructed, they ended up refloating and moving out of the slipway so they could bring other ships in there. And then towards the end of the war, Allied bombers sank what was left of her in August of 1944, and she ended up sitting there at the bottom of the harbor until the French Navy put up for sale in February of 1948. After a couple years of no people wanting to buy her wreck, French Navy ended up refloating her to clear the harbor, and while trying to tow her away, she broke in half and sank again. So she was not happy with her treatment. Eventually, a group of salvagers bought what was left of her in August of 1951. That was her history. Because she wasn't completed, there's not a whole lot more to go on. Difference between her and her sisters was she had a bit more of a improved secondary layout compared to Richelieu and John Bart, who were both partially completed and later fully completed. As for her skill names and quotes, there is not a whole lot going on there, likely due to the fact that not a whole lot based off of. She has quotes about her sisters, but that's more of their in-game personalities. She explains that she's a Richelieu class and she was abandoned during construction, as she was in history. Unfortunately, not a whole lot to go off this one. Mostly just Star's creation with this. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next one. Bye bye.